For 42 years, the Sachen Energy Ice Canal in Altenberg, Germany has been hosting bobsled, skeleton, and luge races. As far as luge in the FIL World Cup, this is the 32nd race, the 32nd year of racing. Today, we're concentrating on women's singles, and after one run of action, it is Germany's own Anna Berreiter, Olympic silver medalist, in third place. But as they've been doing all year, the rest of the world chasing the Austrians. Lisa Schulte, the World Cup leader, still in search of her first ever World Cup victory. She did win a world championship right here. But Madeleine Egle is one of the winningest active lugers, 14 career World Cup victories. She leads the way after run number one as we get set for the second and final run of action here in Altenberg. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tim Singer. Pleased to be bringing you live, coast to coast, across the globe coverage of the FIL Luge World Cup Tour as we wind our way around Germany and off to Western Canada in 4 weeks' time for the World Championships. You just saw that weather graphic. It is cool. It is windy. We certainly think that's affected some of the action today. The track record set a year ago by Merle Fraebel, while that start record by Tatjana Höfner is 7 years old. Right now, to help with the call of the second heat of action, I'm pleased to reintroduce Team Italy's own Leon Felderer. And Leon, you had a little break between runs. What's the word on the street as far as the action here in Altenberg?
That it's super windy outside still, and a lot of people had issues dealing with the wind in the first run, and we'll see how that evolves over the second run. But that gives us a bit of a bit of excitement for the second race, because you never know what's going to happen here with the wind.
As we check the POV coming up in just a moment, it seemed like the trickies were a little bit between 9 and Kreisel, and then especially down below, starting 11 and that straightaway over to 14. We don't know how much of that was the wind or how much of that is just an incredibly tough track.
Yeah. So we also saw a lot of people have problems here, right, in corner 3 and 4, where there's not a lot of speed, but you need to be spot on with your steering because it's so flat and you will lose a lot of time. And here there's not a lot going on for the ladies, and now that's the first tricky spot, curve 9. Nice pressure out to the long straightaway, into the Kreisel, 360 degrees Kreisel, where you need to be high at the end at the red flag that you can see here, and now where it gets spicy. Here you need to be early enough to 13, early 14, and now straight out of 14 going to 15. That's where we've seen a lot of people have problems, maybe due to the wind, but it's also a tricky spot even if there's no wind, because you need to be you need to carry enough pressure to the end to make it out in a straight line. Otherwise, the sled shoe starts to break out, because there's an uphill section where you lose a bit of gravity, and at that point you don't have a lot of grip on your steels, and that can cause the sled to start skidding very easily.
We noted a couple of times this weekend that one mistake here on the Altenberg track can be costly to the tune of 2/10, and that's a significant amount of time. When we see page 2 of the start list, you'll see that just exactly that, 2/10 separate places number 1 and places number 8, Egle and Bota. So this could be an interesting second run, Leon. One mistake could cost someone not only the win, but the podium, right?
Yes, definitely. It's very close. It's very close within the first few sleds, and it's super windy. We already saw in the first run that not a lot of people had very good runs, so that just gives us an indication of what can happen. We will see if the ladies are now used to the conditions a bit more in the second run, but it's one of the most challenging tracks in the whole world basically, and with that wind and the ice conditions that we have today, it just makes it even tougher.
After an extended holiday break, Canada's back with 3 qualifying for the second run here in the women's singles competition, and back for the first time this season is that athlete right there, Embyr-Lee Susko, who last year, part-time duty on the World Cup. Embyr-Lee had 3 top 20 results, including a very impressive 9th place finish on her home track in Whistler. Canadians are coached by Robert Fegg, former junior world champion, I believe, from Germany. Fegg also coached the USA team for several seasons.
Let's see if she can clean it up here. And she had some problems in the first run. If I remember correctly, it was out of 9. She was one of the ladies that got hit by the wind, and that sent her late into the crisis. So he had a big loop. Let's see if she can clean it up on this run. Canadians had a lot of training here in the preseason, so Rob has high standards for his athletes here in this track, and this run's looking much cleaner than the first run. Nice entrance into 11.
If you're keeping track, her first run time was a 53.781. Now she struggles down at the bottom. She was on her way to bettering that.
Oh no!
Now it's a fight.
The sled just doesn't want to go straight anymore.
Impresses me so much, Leon. And we just had a pretty bad accident by Embyr-Lee, but how great all of you athletes are to even stay on the sled, to manage to avoid what could be even a worse disaster.
She did a great job at handling this. Here we can see, I don't know what happened here. Just she hit the right wall, and that's one of the worst feelings that you will ever have. Going a late into 13, you have so much pressure, and the head is just right on the ice. You just that's just too much pressure on your body, and at that point you just need to, drive to survive, or like slide to survive. Let's say like that.
What are you coached to do? What do the coaches tell you to do once you crash?
Hold on to the sled. That's rule number 1 if you crash, and make sure that the sled goes in driving direction, so it doesn't, it can basically stop in the track and almost fly out of the track, so to say. So you want to hold on to the sled, because in case, the outrun goes uphill and the sled can't come back. But if you hold on to the sled, you're always with the sled. And also in the corners, if the sled goes up and goes down and hits you, that is the most dangerous thing, that you get hit by the sled.
Right. Trinity Ellis grew up skiing on those wonderful slopes of Whistler Blackcomb before switching over to luge. 22 years old, her hometown is Pemberton. Skids, a little bit of a tap. This is where Embyr-Lee had the problems.
Little insecurity out of 14, but she was able to keep it together, not drop her feet. Obviously better time than Embyr-Lee, but not the cleanest run. Not what you want to do out of tries.
Yeah, it was about 0.08 of a second slower than her first run time.
Here it was all still okay. Let's see, maybe she had the wrong loop a bit. And yeah, just a bit too much height at the end of Kreisel and onto the right wall, and that is not good, let me tell you that. But she did an awesome job at correcting it. Because if you don't have a great entrance, it's 11, it's so easy to flip into 12. It's just too quick of a transition that, it's very difficult to correct that within a corner.
Molina Fischer, 18th place after run number 1 for the 20-year-old, first of 4 Germans in today's competition. No trouble with the start curve.
No trouble this time, which she will be very happy with. She will still be upset about her first run at the start. But maybe that, it's a home race. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you have so many people coming out to watch you, which is great, obviously, but it also comes hand in hand with a lot of pressure that you put on yourself because you want to perform in front of your friends and family. And she's still very young athlete, so maybe she was a bit nervous.
That's
in the
right.
First run. Could have been.
Trains out of the powerful Oberhof program with Coach Torsten Gorlitzer.
This is a great looking run, though. She will be very happy with that run.
53.254 is about 45 hundredths faster than run number 1. In fact, that 53.254, that would have put her in about 12th place in the first heat, rather than 18th.
Great shot here. Transition 11, 12. Nice line here, 15, 16.
She could hold her spot for about 2 or 3 sleds riding up the elevator. We'll see for Molina Fischer, because we have Claudia Domaradzka. She even seemed surprised when she came up the outrun with her 17th place result in run number 1, going so late in the start order.
She was definitely happy to make it into the second run. She did a great job in the first run. So let's see if she can do that again here in the second run, because with a clean run you can do a lot here in Altenberg. That was not
Claudia
the cleanest exit out of 4. Just too high at the end and a skid off it. That is a lot of time that you lose there, unfortunately. Although it might not look like a big mistake, it just costs you so much time.
Her favorite track in the world is Oberhof, where she finished 23rd a few weeks ago, and where she'll be returning with the World Cup in 2 weeks' time.
Good correction here from Claudia. Nice entrance into 13, nice entrance into 14. Good line into 15, 16.
To the finish, second place, half second behind Molina Fischer. We have not seen the last of Claudia Domaradzka. She will lead things off for Team Poland later today in the relay. For the first time this season, she will not be the very first athlete to go, because Canada will precede Poland to the starting line in team relay.
Here you can see that she had a bit too much height at the end of tries. Had to correct it to get a nice and early entrance into 11. Did a great job at correcting it, and she was right back on line going into corner 13, where we've seen the Canadian have troubles before. So she can do no worse than 18th place, which is a great step forward
Not
for
bad
Claudia.
for Claudia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Canada qualified not 1, not 2, but 3 athletes into run number 2 in their return to the World Cup. The third being 21-year-old Caitlin Nash. 16th place for Caitlin after run number 1.
This is looking much better for Caitlin. She had a big skid out of 4 in the first run, and then was unlucky enough to get hit by the wind out of 9. So we didn't see that problem happen so far in run 2. And it's looking much better. Much better.
All the same, losing time to Molina Fischer, who had such a spectacular run, and now trouble at the track.
Big troubles here for the Canadian. That is not her day, unfortunately.
Crossing with a 4th place time, a full second behind Fischer. Provisionally, Trinity Ellis is the fastest of the Canadians. Whether or not that officially makes her part of the relay team, we'll find out a little later on.
She had so much height at the end of 11, bumped early to 12, and was just going sideways, transition 12, 13. At that point, it's just, we're back to the old saying, slide to survive, but that's what it is at that point. Just tried to hold on and not do an ollie crash. She's definitely not happy with the run. Not her day today.
Summer Britcher holds about a 0.2 of a second advantage over Molina Fischer after run number 1. Summer had all sorts of trouble in the opening heat, and it started right up here at the start, didn't it, Lena?
Yeah. She was slipping at the 3rd paddle. It looks much cleaner, although a little shaky saddle, but much better than the first run. Let's see if she can.
5.628 start time.
Yeah.
That's 700ths faster than the opening heat.
That is a lot of time. And especially here in Altenberg, it's so flat up top. Your start just needs to be spot on, because you will never gain that time back that you lose at the start.
Approaching the Kreisel, one of 4 Kreisels on the 4 different tracks in Germany.
Oh, yeah, that is an interesting looking line through Kreisel. It was just a very flat line through Kreisel. Which is a
fast one?
Well, you know, some say so, some say, oh.
Well, certainly got away from Summer down in the last few curves as she falls to 2nd place, dropping 1 spot, but significantly behind Molina Fischer, who continues to ride on up the leaderboard.
2nd place currently for Summer Britcher.
Ooh, that was a rough run at the bottom. Here we can see, look how flat she's doing the Kreisel. She was able to steer it so well, the sled, but maybe a bit too well because she had no height at the end, at the red flag, and that's what caused her to have troubles out of Kreisel, because you need to be high that you make it out without any pressure. And here she was just off then. After that mistake out of Kreisel, she was, yeah, it was great looking run up top, but unfortunately after Kreisel it was just very sloppy from Summer here.
As we start to look towards the Olympic Games of 2026, now just over a year away, there are 4 women, all very good. Leon, only 3 positions will be available. So Barbara Allmaier, the first of 4 we're going to see today, she and Schwarz, they may be fighting for that number 3 spot.
Yeah, let's not forget about Hannah Brock, which is
that's right.
She will join us next week. She will join us next week after the injury. She will be back. She won't be competing, but she will join us for the training, to you know, get back into being around the World Cup circuit and get ready for the World.
Was she injured?
Yeah, she's injured. She has a back injury, which she's been dealing with for quite some time now. Oh, great job at saving that.
Hangs on to take the advantage, but giving away all sorts of time down at the bottom. We're seeing a lot of that. This track is getting away from most of these athletes.
Yeah.
Very difficult on the last few curves.
Just, yeah, once you go uphill and the sled starts to lose its gravity, it just started skidding, and then she was all over the place, too high at the end, very late into 16. Up, down, she did a great job at steering enough and correcting it without having a big hit. But yeah, she's definitely not too pleased about that with that run.
Please prepare your next.
Kendija Aparjode just off of the podium last week in Sigulda with a 4th place finish. She's had a handful of podiums in her career, a lot of them at home. Still looking for victory number 1 in her career. 13th place after the first run of competition here in Altenberg.
She had big troubles at the start in the first run. She was skidding already, steering into corner 3, which she was able to clean up. Let's see if she can speed up, because she had good speed at the bottom of the track in the first run. So if she has a clean run, she can definitely move up some spots. It's looking okay. Nice exit. Oh, a bit high. Oh, not the cleanest end. This is a bit off.
Proving to be a very tough race down at the bottom for everyone.
This is a bit off, yeah. It's surprising to see, because in the first one, not a lot of people had problems in 11, 12, 13. But this run, we've seen quite some sides have troubles there. Which, I don't know.
They spray the track, right, between runs, but they don't reshape anything.
No, they don't. Maybe it's just a bit faster, and you know, even if it's just a tenth or two, you definitely feel it in that transition, because it comes so quick, and if you're not spot on, you can feel every tenth that you go faster here. And yeah, just a bit shaky out of 14 as well. Not the cleanest run.
Verena Hofer, the first up from Italy now. Had a very good run, very clean in the opening heat, coming out of the qualifying group. Finds herself in 12th place, heading into the second run. She's been top 16 in every race. just won top 10. That was a 10th place finish in Oberhof.
That's a good start time here from Verena. Nice looking line out of 4 going into 5. Also here it looks very clean, very smooth. It's all about it's all about staying smooth here up top. A little tap on the right wall, but no skid.
We're seeing that from just about everyone. A little tap is okay. Big tap, not so much.
Big tap, no, not so much. Also, just a bit off. Not the cleanest run, but the very nice exit out of 14. 15, 16, this is a very good bottom of the track here from Verena.
Best we've seen in the run, maybe
definitely.
only next to the German. But lost all of her speed. Kendija moves up 1 spot, Verena down 1 spot. As she will watch closely as Sandra Robatscher is going next for Italy. What will determine for your country, Italy, who makes it into the team relay?
Best finish. Best finish.
Best finish, total result.
Total result, yeah.
So Hofer's done, and for Robatscher, you're going to need to see a 1 or a 2 when she crosses the finish line for her to make it into team relay in just a little over an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Sandra, Leon, I've talked a lot about her injuries over the past 4 or 5 seasons. What are some of the specific problems she's had?
It's always the shoulder. So she had a lot of troubles with her shoulder. She had 4 or 5 surgeries already in her life. Just keeps getting back to her. Right now she's okay. She's doing fine with her shoulder. So let's hope that the last surgery was the last one actually, and she's able to, you know, stay injury-free until the Olympics next year. Same tap that Verena had out of 9. She's actually building compared to Kendija, which is a good sign of speed. Much cleaner here.
Very good sign. 23 hundredths up on the Latvian, 3/10 up on her teammate.
Oh, she was a bit too early to 60. We haven't seen that one today yet. That's a first.
Nice run of 53.111 for Sandra Robatscher, 1/10 of a second better than her first heat. This gets her into team relay, along with Dominik Fischneller, Andi Vetter, Marion Oberhofer, and the doubles team.
Nope, it's not Andrea Vetter and Marion Oberhofer. It's actually Alexandra Oberstolz and Katharina.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The youngest of the 3 Italian teams, I forget.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming week in and week out. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
The teenagers.
This will be their first team relay after having the debut in the World Cup, which is super exciting for them. And it will be a great experience for them to race alongside the teammates in a team relay.
3 of the 4 Americans in today's race qualified for a second run, all of them out of the seeded group. Ashley Farquharson coming off of consecutive 5th place finishes in the last 2 races in Oberhof and Sigulda.
Ashley has been showing some great speed over the last couple of races, just not the cleanest run on race days, but she had great speed, and if I remember correctly, that's also what happened in the first run. And with her still being
she was on her way.
Yeah.
On her way to what could have been a top 5 result.
Yeah, exactly.
Until she had problems down at the lower part.
Exactly, and with her still sitting in 10th place after that run, it just gives us an indication of how fast she really is and how fast she could go if she makes it down a clean run. And this one is looking like a very good run, but again the hit out of 14 and troubles into 16. Cost you a lot of time here.
Covered pretty quickly. A lot of skidding, a lot of foot down. 2/10 up on the Italian. Let's see, this 52.9.
This would have been an awesome time. This would have been an awesome time.
Yeah, it would have been top 6 in run number 1, and that's with a couple of more mistakes.
I would say that's a small mistake because that is quite a big hit. You can see left wall sideways, right wall And then
skidding.
And then skidding into 15 and the late 16. And the late 16, you make so much more meters in 16 if you go in late, because you go up high, down, and then up again. Although if you go nice and early, you can cut the first crash and you save a lot of meters there. So she lost a lot of time there at the bottom. But again, it's great that she has good speed.
Merle Fraebel now, as we make our way into the top 10. Fraebel 9th place after run number 1. She said earlier this week that she really likes Altenberg. She's still struggling to find out exactly what the best lines are, but that's what a lot of you losers like, is the challenge, right?
Definitely, yeah. It's always improving and always figuring out. You never have the perfect run. There's always something you could do better, and it's just, you know, you always look forward to improve. It's either position, lines, sled equipment, you want to risk maybe more. But this one is looking like a great run here from Fred. And she definitely knows how to go fast, because she has the track record, which is
a track record holder, yeah.
Which is an insane time, because we did not get close to that in the first run.
She's losing her advantage over the American Farquharson at that second last clock, but that's where the USA had the problems. Fraebel was clean down here at the bottom, so Merle holds on to her spot and does it pretty convincingly, 2/10 up on Farquharson.
Also very competitive start time here from the German. And a nice exit out of 15. Perfect entrance into 16. You can see how nice she was able to cut the first pressure. And just a very smooth line here at the bottom.
As Leon said, the fastest start time so far, although we have the fastest starter in the world coming up next. So Leon, now we're at that part that we talked about at the beginning of the run, where the final 8 sleds are only separated by 2/10 of a second, and that has been our estimated margin of deficiency with one mistake, 2/10. So everyone needs to be perfect. Let's see at the start how Elina Bota's start time shakes out. A 5.557 is fifth so far.
It's the fastest so far.
Thousandth of a second.
But
thousandth of a second.
She was 400 fast on the first run, which gives a lot of time, considered the start looked good. You know, that no issue that we could have seen.
Airless lines were as good as anyone here in run number 2. And as you see, the Latvian has fallen behind the German.
Also great looking lines here. Oh no, oh no. Ooh.
Well, she gives it away. She'll lose a few spots here. As we said, all of these split times are very tight. 8th place for Elina Bota of Latvia. We've seen so many hits on the lower part of the track, Leon, but I've got to say, we've seen some phenomenal recoveries.
Yes, she did a great job. You know, going late into 13 is about the scariest thing that you can do on a loose sled, basically. Here you can see she was started to skid already out of 12, and then just hit before 13, and then down to the bottom, and she was just sideways. Incredible shot here by the camera. And, you know, she was already on line into 14 again, like a hit out of 14. But at that point, you know already that the race is over. With that mistake, you cannot compete with the top spot. But she was just looking to go to the finish safely in one piece, and that's what she did.
Lucky sevens for Natalie Maag, whose best result this year was a 7th place finish in Innsbruck. She also finished 7th at the World Championships last year on this track, and is in 7th place after run number 1.
So great exit out of 9. 1900s back already though. Let's see if she can close the gap a bit here at the bottom of this track. Great looking transition. Yes. Very good lines.
Nicely done, yeah, but losing time, a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah, she's losing time. Not able to
Second
go to
place, a
speed.
distant second, right? So Merle Fraebel has moved up a couple of spots from 9th to 7th. 6 remain.
But this was a great looking line here from Natalie.
Absolutely. Will return to her home track next season, right after the Olympic Games, St. Moritz, Switzerland. It'll be interesting to see how many athletes, Leon, make it to St. Moritz. Expensive place to go to. And a bit of a letdown perhaps after the Olympics, we'll find out. I guess it will depend on how close the World Cup standings are.
I guess so, yeah.
Emily Sweeney of the USA, still in the top 6 in the World Cup standings despite skipping 1 race. In the other 3, she's had top 6 in all of them, a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th place last week in Sigulda. Now the 2-time Olympian paddling out of the start for the USA.
And a much better start time than in the first run.
That's right, the 3rd fastest so far here in the heat.
Already a 10th ahead. Let's see if she can have a clean run here.
She had a couple of small errors down below, if I remember.
Yeah. So you can see there's a lot of steering going on a straightaway, which is not what you want to see ideally. So she's fighting a bit on the sled to keep the sled online. Also a small
Still
hit before 13 and then side. Oh no! Oh.
She cleans it up in time to avoid big danger. But Emily Sweeney was on her way to a 1st place time. In the end, she drops all the way down into 10th place, just ahead of her teammate Summer Britcher, which means Ashley Farquharson once again this week will represent the USA in the team relay, at least possibly. They Americans base it on a coach's decision. This was shaping up to be a great run.
Yeah, the sled started to skid, break out, and then very late into 15 and up, and I hope she didn't hit her head at the end. Because this looks like she was, so much direction going to the left wall. This is a very dangerous spot here on the track too.
Grabbing her sled, certainly disappointed, but moving along now. These are the battles for the podium positions, and Julia Taubitz could certainly fight her way back on after being off of it in 5th place after run number 1.
She definitely has the speed to do so.
Standings. She definitely does. 1,000th of a second behind her teammate at that last split time, but this is where the speed starts to happen for Taubitz on her home track.
No. She's losing a bit compared to Fraebel, which is surprising to see because she had a great speed in the first run. She was just not able to keep it clean out of 14. Maybe she changed the setup a bit, made it a bit safer, but slower as well. And the same problem that she had in the first run. And again, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
This
Similar
is
to
remarkable.
Emily.
This is happening to more athletes than not. I mean, you're going to walk away wondering whether this is a fair race, but everyone has to face the same corners.
Everyone has to face the same corners, but not everyone has the same wind conditions. That is unfortunately the problem. But you know, it's very hard to judge about that here in the commentary booth. But yeah, but 14 is a tricky spot. 14 is always a tricky spot, and especially if the ice is so hard, you go uphill and the sled just starts to lose traction due to the lower gravity that you have going up the hill, and then you know, the sled is it's easy to start skidding at this point of the track. So I don't know. Yeah. You know, if you're able to go clean, you can do well here in Altenberg.
Here's the one surprise in the top 5 after run number 1, Daria Schwarz, who went very early in the race out of the qualifying group, where she leads the Nations Cup standings. She was impressive, as of course have been the Austrians here in Altenberg over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Dorothea had a great run in the first run, probably the cleanest that we've seen from all the athletes in the first run. And again, it's looking great so far. Just very relaxed on the sled. Maybe a bit too much direction. But so
losing time.
Such a nice transition. Very calm on the sled. Relaxed, heads far back. But she's losing time compared to Fraebel. Fraebel was going fast in the second run.
Merle Fraebel has now moved from 9th place to 1 spot away from the podium. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
That's what a clean run will do for you here in Altenberg.
Surprised to see her fall that far back because she had quite a clean run.
Yeah, on an Austrian sled.
Yeah, on an Austrian sled. She can't go the start times with the other athletes yet. She will look to improve on that during the summer. But other than that, the sliding looks great. The position is good. She's very relaxed and calm on the sled, which is a good sign that you have everything under control.
Here's the situation. The top 5, Germany, Switzerland, USA, Italy, Austria. But now the fight for the podium. The final 3 to go here in run number 1, or run number 2 rather, and looking to atone from a disappointing world championship here in Altenberg last year is Anna Berreiter, the 25-year-old from Berchtesgaden, hoping for her best result of the season. She's currently ranked 9th in the World Cup standings.
She has 1700s to work with, so if she's able to keep it clean, I think that should be enough. Very nice.
Keeping it clean has been the challenge down below.
Yeah, the run is looking great so far. Maybe a bit flat in the Kreisel, but she's handling it well at the exit. Very nice transition here. It's looking very much under control here.
This is where the problems plagued everyone else, and she handles it fine.
This is a great looking run.
This will be a podium for Anna Berreiter, her first of the season. And that is a fist pump of relief.
Great to see Anna back on the podium.
Yes, when you know every race you should be there, or you think you should be, and you're not, it starts to get frustrating from week to week. So she's back, Anna Berreiter.
She showed us some great sliding. She had a great run in the first run, a great run in the second run, and that's what should happen then. If you have 2 good runs, then you should be in a good position. So it's great to see her back on the podium. She'll definitely be happy with that.
Germany in the lead, 2 Austrians getting ready. We mentioned in run number 1, if you missed it, that's Lisa Schulte. She's been on the podium every weekend this year. She had her choice of bibs, World Championship bib or World Cup leader. She chose the yellow bib because this is the first time she's ever held the World Cup lead.
Not the cleanest saddle here at the start for Lisa. So she was a bit shaky here at the start. Let's see if she can clean it up here. We know she has the speed to do so. We know she has the speed to do so.
She's been as fast as anyone down below. Good transition from 9 to 10 here.
Does look like it though. 1500s back already. Very nice transition here. Great looking lines. Making out a bit of time, but that might be too much.
That's too much to make up, right?
That is too much, yeah. Even on an Austrian sled, that is too much time to do.
Dropping back 2 positions, Merle Fraebel is officially on the podium. For the first time this season, Germany has 2 on the podium in women's singles.
Yeah, here we can see that she struggled a bit to get into the sled. Also out of exit 9 was not the best that we've seen. Just not as clean as of a run that she needed to take over the lead here.
These results are certainly going to tighten up the World Cup standings. We're past the halfway point now on the World Cup. Shrug of the shoulders from Lisa Schulte, but she'll watch her teammate now, Madeleine Egle. Madeleine, the only racer in women's luge, singles luge this year with more than one victory. She has 2 wins. Looking for the trifecta here. Egle on course. Start time 5.514, fastest of anyone.
That will definitely help.
Leon, but a lot of work still to do.
A lot of work still to do, yes. There's a lot of tricky spots here in this track that are coming to get you. First one done nicely. And she's building speed already, she's building time. So she definitely has the speed to take over the lead. Nice transition here. Nice and early entrance into 14. Should be no trouble out of the exit, yes.
Big lead. Austria versus Germany. What else is new in the sport of luge? Which will it be? It looks to be Austria as Madeleine Egle captures the race. Her 3rd of the season, her 15th career World Cup victory. Another big weekend for the Egle sisters.
Yeah.
Madeleine's sister, Selina, won for the 4th week in a row yesterday in women's doubles. Really, she did very little wrong.
She did very little wrong, yeah, let's say it like that. She had a great start time, great lines, good position on the sled. And yeah, on an Austrian sled. So yeah, great showing here again from the Austrian team.
I believe Madeleine will overtake the World Cup lead by just 4 points over her teammate Lisa Schulte. It's going to be very tight,
okay,
which is what we expect. A hug from these 2 great Austrian women's singles competitors. Final result, 2 Germans on the podium. But once again, it's Austria leading the way, as the Austrians have won 3 of the 5 races. Germany 1 victory, and Latvia 1 victory so far this year in World Cup. Lisa Schulte falls off of the podium for the first time this season, but Merle Fraebel is the beneficiary as she has her 2nd consecutive. Maag, a top 5 result on a track where she has displayed consistent excellence. 3 Americans in the top 20, led by Ashley Farquharson with a 6th place result, and she could move up a spot or 2 in the World Cup rankings, which we'll see in just a moment. But first things first, the all-important bunny rabbits pass out to the podium winners. Leon, as we get ready to see these World Cup standings, one follow-up question for you in just a moment. Let's get these standings here, because I think it's going to be very tight. Our computer is still tabulating those numbers, with lots of photo ops. Crazy race. Natalie Maag told us just moments ago the wind definitely was crazy, especially before curve 13. Here we have it, 4-point advantage, 1 Austrian over another, followed by a trio of Germans, a Latvian, and a pair of Americans. Natalie Maag also now into the top 10 in the World Cup standings. So Leon, my question for you is Germany, Austria, Germany, Austria. They've been the powerful nations, especially in team relay. Who do you give the advantage to later today in that team event?
Oh, that is a tough question. I think I might have to give it to Austria. If they make it down in clean lines, they prove to be faster here compared to the German team. But you know, it's a team consisted of 4 sleds, and we've seen that there's more than just making it through 17.
That's
you need
right.
to make it out of 18 as well. So it will be exciting, you know, because on 4 sleds a lot can go wrong, and especially with the women and men going now from double start and having to deal with the tricky corner 9, you know.
That's right.
It will be very interesting and very exciting to watch.
Sorry to cut you off. We're hoping for some interviews just seconds away. But yes, if it's anything like last weekend's team relay in Sigulda, then look out.
Yeah, team relay rarely disappoints in keeping it exciting.
Winner, Madeleine
I mean,
Egle.
congratulations, what a run here. Last week didn't really go to your plan, but this weekend you seem to be back.
Yes, it looks like. I'm so happy. My training was not that great. So I'm really happy that I brought 2 good runs. Finally 2 good runs in my race. So yeah, I'm happy, and I was really nervous today.
It was a quite challenging track here. How was your run?
Well, my run was, 9. I've been fighting with 9 all the time. So my second run was really my best 9 I had. So yeah, it was amazing. So I don't know, I can't describe it. I'm happy right now. Thank you.
Congratulations to Madeleine Egle. Despite a 28th place result last week, she's now a 3-time winner this season on the World Cup and leading in the overall standing. Still waiting to hear from the Germans, who finished 2nd and 3rd. Meantime, a couple of highlights of the action as it unfolded. Leon, we'll let you get out of the booth and prepare your teammates for team relay. Thank you so much, as always, for your great commentary.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. As always, just very exciting to watch the race here from the booth and commentate here with you, Tim.
That's Team Italia, Leon Felderer. As we check out some of the great pictures, stick around. I'm going to sign off as well, but do not go too far. We still hope to get some interviews down below with Patrick, with the top German athletes who finished 2nd and 3rd. But we are now just about 50 minutes away from Team Relay. Veronica Ravenna will join me for the call of what has proven to be an incredible discipline, Luge Team Relay, as the World Cup continues from Altenberg in just a little bit.